If you are not using AI, if you are not exploring AI, you are far behind the people who are doing it.
How do you continue building an app that was started for you by AI? Here's how this will work. I'm Abhinav with the Bubble team, and I'm going to get on a call with a Bubble developer I know.
Hello, my name is Tom, and I'm using Bubble since 2020, nearly 5 years now.
I'm going to ask them to try generating an app from scratch using the new Bubble AI. Then, since we know there'll be a lot to take in, especially if you're new to Bubble, programming, or tech in general, I'll have them look through their new app and explain what they'd change and what they'd do next. Let's jump in.
So, what I wanted to build today is, I'm really excited about the whole remote work, doing things remotely and so on. And you probably know this site, nomads.com.
Yes.
Which is dedicated for digital nomads and being a nomad and live anywhere. And I would like to try to build such a similar website, but for the people who are looking to live in Eastern Europe, who are looking to move in Eastern Europe, because Poland is a fantastic place to live. A lot of people are looking, to move here and live, but they are not sure if they can do their work from here or Eastern Europe remotely. So basically what we will be building today, it's nomads.com, but for Eastern Europe. Okay, so yeah, I've got the Bubble AI here and the prompt. So to prompt it, I always, when we are doing a copy of something, we can just, create a copy of nomads.com, but I'd like to go to ChatGPT and do something like this. Describe me the features.
That's smart, yeah.
of nomads.com, right? So we'll have the initial prompt of the features, not to explore all the features by myself. It will go to nomads.com. Yeah, so this will be my initial prompt. And of course without... Yeah, and then we'll move forward. So let's start with this. I want a website that helps people who work remotely find the best place to live and work in Eastern Europe, right? Europe.
You had a chance to kind of explore Bubble AI in front of your own live community a little while ago, and I think you discovered that Bubble AI could generate the app in Polish?
Yeah, I was doing the demo for the Polish community last week, and of course I was using the prompt in English, and the people kept asking how to do it in Polish. Can you do it in Polish? I said, no way, we should do it in English because probably Bubble doesn't understand English. But then I wrote the prompt in Polish, and actually it did not only the app in Polish, but it understood the prompt, but also translated all the whole app in Polish. So this is interesting that we can actually write prompts not only in English, but also in local language. I don't know if we want to do it right now, but I think we will focus on English because it's not only for people in Poland, or if you wish, we can switch to Polish prompts. I think it will be better to understand for all the people to do it in English. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. That you bring up a good point, that it's also not just for people in Poland, your app ideas. So yeah, we can keep it English for now, but I just want to call that out.
I always like to start with a simple, really simple one-line prompt, and then, just a moment, generate a blueprint. Eastern Europe Remote Hub, Information Community Platform. So we've got here the user stories. So Bubble understood the idea of an app, created a name of an app, and as well the user stories. These are the things that we usually do manually. What are the typical user stories the user do when they visit the website, right? Let's check it. As a remote worker, I want to discover the best cities for remote work. I want to view detailed profiles of co-working spaces. Makes sense. As a traveler, I want to find essential information about living conditions. Also makes sense. As a remote worker, I want to read reviews from other remote workers. Yeah, also makes sense. And it also gave me key features of the app. The city profiles, co-working space directory, review system, search, comparison, and featured cities.
Is there anything in this blueprint that it generated off of like you said, a very straightforward sentence prompt that is taking you by surprise, or is there anything that you think is missing?
I think this, comparison tool. I didn't mention that I want to, compare the multiple cities, so that's interesting. Let me check the features. Tool to find co-working spaces, we have it. The community feature, right? This is, maybe let's add also the community feature.
I was impressed by how far Tom went in refining his prompt. He added a community hub, a city gallery for the landing page. He even changed the name.
Think about it, right? Nomad Nest Eastern Europe. Okay, it changed the name of an app, right? I think it's good. So I think we are ready to go.
All right, let's go ahead and hit generate. While we waited for AI to build our app MVP, I asked Tom a bit more about his background as a Bubble developer and his experience so far with Bubble AI.
I'm in the IT business for over 20 years. I was running my own software house, doing startups, but I've never been a programmer. I've never been a developer. But I do like creating things. I like building things. So when I found Bubble, firstly I was building my own products, then also coaching people, building products for clients. So I think it's a typical way of how people do Bubble stuff, right? I mean how people did Bubble stuff, because right now it will be different with all these AI features, introducing more and more people who never used such no-code tools, never been programmers, but they want to create something, right? So it's a complete new wave of people, which I'm also excited of.
You were working with Bubble AI before Claude 3.7 came out. You were showing it to your live Poland community. Like, I'm curious, have your prompts always been pretty simple? Have you tried more intricate prompts off the bat?
Yeah, I tried both. The truth is, the first time I had an opportunity to work with Bubble AI was at BubbleCon last year, when there was a live demo. Suddenly, during one weekend, the Cloud 3.7 went out to the market, and you switched the Bubble AI to the new LLM, the new model, and it was a huge difference between the previous one and the next one. It was like a new generation of an AI. I think it's not that obvious for the people who never use Bubble that you can actually build anything with Bubble, right? In Bubble in general, you are not limited to anything, right? It gives you basically no limits on the terms what you can build with Bubble.
After about 6 minutes, we got our app.
Not to see it. Yeah, we have it.
All right.
Alrighty.
So the first thing that we should do before we look through the editor is preview the app and see how it functions.
Yeah. Which is beautiful in Bubble, that I don't have to, look out for the server to deploy or something like this. I'm just clicking preview and it's working. I will disable the deep debugger mode, not needed. So we got the name, we've got the headlines, we've got the featured cities with the pictures, right? So yeah, it's something new. I think it needs a little bit of tuning here. It overlaps. We'll take a look at this. The co-working spaces, and also the Explore Eastern Europe headline and the interactive map, which is, I think we'll take a look at this. Also the community part as we wanted. And the footer, I think footer also needs some work, right? But I think it's for the first build, for the initial build, it's pretty nice. Let's take a look at the other pages. What do we have here? We have cities with the search. It already has some cities in the database, so it is nice. You don't need to put the cities in the database. Let's check if it works. For example, let's check Bulgaria. We'll take a look at this in the moment, if the search works or if I just chosen the wrong country. We've got the co-working spaces database with the comparison tool. So we've got some co-working spaces also with the price included, and it has, for example, this one has private rooms and this one has high-speed Wi-Fi. So the tags.
Little tags, yeah.
Yeah. Let's check
Nice.
if it's able. Yeah, and right now the details are in the pop-up. It's not displaying Yeah, it's displaying yeah, this is nice. Because, previously when I was experimenting, it wasn't dynamic. Right now it's dynamic. Community. Let's take a look at community. I've got the community with the community posts and the community events even. Wow, so that's nice. So we've got the whole community app inside our app. And of course my account, which is the profile information, saved items and change password, and the map. I don't think map will be working. Yeah, the map is just a picture of the image of a map. So I think the interactive map we will need to add by ourselves, because I think now the builder is not working with any plugins or external connections, right? Right now it's building the first draft, but I think the overall it's pretty nice as a first build, right? So I can learn more for this. Yeah, I think it's pretty good for the first build.
So if you were to jump back in the editor, and this had just been generated for you, and you had some vision of what it was that you wanted the end product to look like, where do you think you would go first? What would be your next step from here?
I think to clean up the homepage. Let's take a look at the homepage. So I think of course, from the perspective of the person who works more in Bubble, it will be nice to structure your app in the way that it will be that you can add more and more things easily. For example, the header and the footer should be one element that is reusable across multiple pages, right? It's not needed, but I will do it. I mean, to clean it up a little bit. But right now, let's focus on the things that just doesn't look nice. For example, cleaning up this footer, which is, I don't know why it's like this.
AI can't get 100% of the things right 100% of the time. This footer on the landing page was proving to be a bit too complicated to manually fix. Thankfully, Bubble's foundation in visual development meant we had a pretty easy solution to replace it. Do you ever use the component library?
Yes, a couple of times when I'm just doing something, when I want to do something fast, I use also the component library.
So if you didn't like the footer that the AI generated, that could be maybe a quick, clean fix.
That makes sense. Yeah, so according to your suggestion, let's remove the footer and let's take the footer from the components library, which is also built in Bubble. And we got some footers here, and we can just put the footer. Yeah, I have it. Of course, the footer is it's with Bubble logo, so let's remove it. But right now we've got the footer. What else? I think the featured seat is here, and the top co-working space. I don't need the top co-working space here on the main page, so I will just remove it. And here I've got the Explore Eastern Europe, and here is the image. I would like to change this image into the map, because actually we've got the map component in Bubble built in, so I can just put the map here, right, and it will have the map here, and I don't need this. I will leave the view for interactive map, right? So we will put it like this. And the map will be, the style will be, let's make it maybe the satellite, or maybe we can choose whatever style we want, right? So I will just make it maybe neutral blue, maybe the grayscale. You've got a lot of them, right? So retro, yeah, maybe just stick with the satellite. Yeah, let's stick with the satellite.
One thing that I want to just call out is you did in your prompt ask for light colors. The overall like style and aesthetic that it's given you.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think I don't like the green one, but I didn't mention that I don't like the green one, right? So I should also mention that I want the light colors and I want, for example, the navy blue or the violet or something like this, and it will understand because it understands the colors. So it's also nice. Yeah, good. And you know what? Let's take a look at the database also, because I think the design part is the one thing but the other part is that it created the whole database logic, the database structure. It put the example data into the database. For example, the cities, right? And these are the real cities. I mean, well, maybe the Lisbon is not in Eastern Europe, but okay, let's leave it like this. And the Athens, but Sofia, Warsaw, Bratislava is in Eastern Europe. And what I didn't do in the blueprint, I should also mention the things that I want to have in the database. For example, that I want to have the location of the city in the database, or I want the particular fields, because if I mention it, it will understand and it will add these fields in the database. I didn't do it, so it just put the fields that the AI instance understood it will be good to have.
So you're saying like the first thing that you would change in your data structure here is adding a field for like country?
Yeah, or location, right? The geolocation, the geographic address.
The geolocation, yes, which is a built-in field in Bubble.
Yeah, which is a built-in field in Bubble. And once I add it, I can simply use this map here and display a list of markers from the database, right? The cities, right? We have the address field here, and we can, for example, do a search for cities and display a list of cities here. Maybe I don't have the geolocation API key here. Yeah, so sometimes I just put it here, because right now when you are using the geolocation API, I mean, it's for free, but you need to put your own key here to use it. Of course, you've got the documentation how to do it, but you need to set up the Google account and just generate this API key. But anyway, it's not that complex, right? So
after touching on design and data, we started talking about logic.
This is also nice because every page has its own logic. I mean, what should happen when the user clicks on various buttons. I think on the index it has a couple of workflows related with signing up and logging in. Yeah, so the header nav and the login button. Yeah, the element is visible. So I think.
Oh, and it even has it even has the logic built in that it's invisible if the user is logged out.
Yeah. And it logged me in as a user, so I needed to log out. So right now I can set up it has the logic of the accounts already, right? So I can sign up here, and I think it will sign up. Yeah, and I am now signed in, right? So it created my account in the database, and it has the logic of signing up, and now I can also log in with these credentials. A lot of people are asking if Bubble can support users, right, accounts. So it's built in, and this AI assistant already built the logic of logging in, logging out, and displaying the proper buttons when user is logged in and logged out. See, the logic is here. When current user is logged out, this element is visible, and when current user is logged in, this element is visible. So it's also nice for the start. Of course, for example, I would play around with the header. For example, my account shouldn't be visible for the people who are not logged in, right? So I will, go to my account, and I will copy the condition from the logout button to the nav button. I don't need to paste it just to copy it from the conditions, and and this is the thing that the header right now was changed on the main page, and it wasn't changed on the other pages. So firstly we need to create it as convert it to reusable element, right? So you need a little bit of knowledge how to play around with Bubble elements, but not that much if you were about to create this page from scratch, right? So, and for example, the logic of the account page, because right now this is invisible, but I can still access this page when I open it. So I need to add the logic manually when the page is loaded. Go to page index when current user is logged out. Right, so some of the things needs to be tuned in. Right now when I go here, it will go, I'm not able to access this page anymore. So some of the things needs tuning, but in general it's pretty nice. Let's check if the search work, right? So Sophia. Now we can play around with the searches. I think it does something, but let's check what are the things that are not working. So for example, I put here the name of the city and I clicked search, and we can check what's behind, right? We can click edit workflow and see what happens when we click on edit workflow. And it's all in English, right? So it's not a programming language. It displays list in the repeating group with the data source searching for cities. And see here,
interesting.
It didn't map the input from the input field. It just made it static, right?
It started the expression.
Yeah. So the expression is good, but we need to change it. The name contains not example, but contains the input, right? This hero stage input value, and that's
perfect.
That's all, right? And now it should.
Let's see now.
On Sophia search. See, now it displayed here. Yeah, so now it works. It's not.
So Tom and I recorded this a month ago. Bubble AI has already evolved to become even savvier in how it builds designs and connects elements and pages together with logic. But I wanted to highlight this moment because I think it's a great example of the power of static text versus dynamic data. If you're new to Bubble and you see any functionality in your generated app that's just not operating how you want it to operate, you can easily adjust the logic by writing out a new expression to include or adjust the dynamic data. This is why we call it visual development. You are still programming, you're just doing it by writing and fine-tuning what you want in plain English instead of code. Now at this point, we were running out of time, so I asked Tom to give us some final thoughts to close us out.
Suddenly it came, and the whole ecosystem changed in 1-2 years. If someone is not using AI today, doesn't matter if he or she is a traditional developer, visual developer, no-code developer, or just entering the space. If you are not using AI, if you are not exploring AI, you are far behind the people who are doing it. So keep on experimenting and exploring. I think we should do it not only with Bubble Assistant, but with assistants in general, because Bubble AI is one thing, but we've got the multiple assistants like the ChatGPT, who anyone knows, and we can actually ask ChatGPT to how to do something, how to do something with Bubbles, how to add an external code to Bubble, which is also possible, and we can actually, become a better no-code visual developer by exploring AI, asking the right questions and experimenting. Right? I think the experiments are the most important thing right now.
Super valuable. Tom, thanks so much. Really appreciate your time on this. It's a cool app idea and a cool generation.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
That's a wrap on Tom's remote working space marketplace app. To start generating your own app idea for free, head over to bubble.io/AI features.